Today in the show, we have the House of Mouse headlines brought to you by LaughingPlace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. This episode is being released on December 13th, 2023, and here's what's been going on in the world of Disney recently. The Disneyland Resort announces its 2024 events calendar, pandemic-era Pixar films are getting proper theatrical releases, Hulu comes to Disney+, and more.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
Disney made good on its promise to add the Hatbox Ghost to Walt Disney World's Haunted Mansion in, quote, late November with hours to spare. On November 30th, the iconic character debuted in the Magic Kingdom version of the ride. Of course, controversially, he was placed near the endless hallway rather than after the attic scene like in Disneyland's version. While Imagineers did try to explain this seeming story-breaking element, fans continue to be displeased with the decision. Then again, that hasn't stopped guests from flocking to the updated attraction. So be sure to stop by the Haunted Mansion on your next Magic Kingdom visit and decide for yourself. With 2024 approaching, the Disneyland Resort has announced a SoCal resident ticket offer with admission as low as $75 per day on select days. These 3-day, one-park tickets are now on sale and are valid for visits from January 2nd through June 2nd, 2024. A Thursday to Sunday admission version comes at a cost of $225 per adult, while one valid on any day of the week, subject to park reservation availability, is $275. The 3-day ticket can be spread out on separate dates, while Park Hopper and Disney Genie Plus upgrade options are available at the time of purchase. To purchase or to find more information, be sure to visit Disneyland.com. It looks as though a longtime Disney Resort staple will be sticking around after all. According to a report from DVCnews.com, Disney has acquired the rights to H2O Plus's formulas following the discontinuation of the brand by Pola Orbis Holdings, which was announced last year. During the recent 2023 Disney Vacation Club Condominium Association meeting, Vice President of Resort Operations Allison Armour indicated that Disney would continue to produce the items under their own Disney Resorts brand. These products, including H2O Plus shampoo, conditioner, shower gel, and more, have been staples in Disney hotel rooms for many years now, leading fans to voice displeasure with the initial discontinuation news. While it's not clear when this conversion will be complete, keep an eye out for updates on your next Disney resort or cruise line stay. With construction underway on the first Storyliving by Disney community in Rancho Mirage called Cotino, a second project has now been announced. Storyliving by Disney Asteria will be a new residential community located near Chapel Hill, North Carolina. The community is in the beginning stages of planning with Walt Disney Imagineering and DMB Development, with sales anticipated to begin by 2027. Plans call for more than 4,000 residential units, including single-family and multi-family homes, with some home sites specifically designated for adults 55 and older. The Asteria community will also be part of the larger, award-winning Chatham Park master-planned community by Preston Development Company. While the project is still in its very early stages, those interested in joining the community's email list can visit storylivingby disney.com/Asteria, Asteria. Those who have both Disney Plus and Hulu may notice a new Hulu tab in the Disney Plus interface. As previously announced, a beta of this integration is rolling out this month, while the official launch will be in March. Additionally, while much of the Hulu library is available through the new tile, there are some exceptions. Of course, since Hulu includes content that's not appropriate for children, families should be sure to double-check their settings as this feature rolls out. ABC News will commemorate Disney's 100th anniversary with an all-new documentary special event, Disney 100: A Century of Dreams, a special edition of 2020. The special will air tomorrow, December 14th on ABC, and feature interviews with Disney CEO Bob Iger, Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, and Walt Disney's grandsons Chris Miller and Walter Miller. Additionally, Richard Sherman, Elton John, Alan Menken, and Lin-Manuel Miranda will discuss the power of music in Disney storytelling, while Idina Menzel, Jodie Benson, Paige O'Hara, and Ariana DeBose will share stories of voicing animated characters. Additional appearances include Katy Perry, Chris Evans, John Stamos, Christy Carlson Romano, and more. Disney 100: A Century of Dreams, a special edition of 2020, airs December 14th at 9 p.m. on ABC and streams the next day on Hulu, followed by a December 29th debut on Disney+. One of Hulu's biggest original shows is now headed to broadcast television. In January, the first season of Only Murders in the Building will air on ABC. Specifically, 3 episodes will air in 2-hour blocks starting January 2nd, with the season 1 finale playing during a 1-hour time slot on January 3rd. Meanwhile, you can catch the first 3 seasons of the show on Hulu, now with a 4th season on the way. Just in time for the holidays, Disney Plus has announced a number of bonus perks for subscribers. These offerings include free Marvel digital comics, a 50% discount on a D23 Gold membership, $40 off an annual Walmart Plus membership, 15% off Disney-inspired products from Funko and Loungefly, 15% off Disney Music Emporium purchases, and more. Plus, a special Walt Disney World Resort offer for Disney Plus subscribers is coming on January 3rd. To see all of the available deals and take advantage of them, head to disneyplus.com/perks. Following the recent release of Rise of the Floodborn, Ravensburger has announced the next chapter of Disney Lorcana, which will be called Into the Inklands. With the release of this expansion, Disney Lorcana will introduce the new Locations card type that will bring Illumineers to Motonai from Moana, the Jolly Roger from Peter Pan, Maleficent's Castle on Forbidden Mountain, and more. Plus, Into the Inklands will see more Disney characters joining the game, with new additions including Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales, Kit Cloudkicker from Tailspin, and Jim Hawkins from Treasure Planet, among others. This latest installment, including starter decks, booster packs, accessories, and more, will become available at local game stores on February 23rd, 2024, followed by mass market retailers on March 8th. And now it's time to bring in Kyle Burbank from laughingplace.com for the final House of Mouse headlines discussion of 2023. How you doing, sir?
I am doing very well. I got my DCTC calendar this past week. I'm very excited about that. I might have a new home for it. I might keep it in the kitchen since I have a house now, but I'd probably end up in the office, but very much looking forward to hanging that on my wall.
Nice. Yeah, congratulations to you. 2023 got you a new home, like a first-time home owner sort of thing. So yay for you. Congrats.
Thank you.
Excellent. Let's jump into the Disney news because Disneyland Resort announced a lineup of 2024 events. A lot of these will sound familiar, but we got dates for them because, well, whether we like it or not, 2024 is right around the corner. So first up, Lunar New Year is coming up real soon, January 23rd through February 18th. This takes place at Disney California Adventure, followed by Celebrate Gospel at Disneyland Park on February 17th and February 24th. Then there's Anaheim Ducks Day at Disney California Adventure, February 22nd through the 23rd. This is in celebration of the Anaheim Ducks Hockey Club's 30th anniversary. They've been doing this for a few years now, right?
Yeah, maybe this might be the 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, I've never actually, I think I was maybe in the park just by happenstance once when this was happening, but I think Mike usually goes and covers it for Laughing Place, right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time they're doing 2 days, but again, I could be wrong on that. It's one of those that kind of pops up and like I know it's coming, but then I don't pay much attention to it when it's there.
It's interesting that it does well enough for it to keep returning. Like, I don't ever hear anybody talk about Anaheim Ducks Day, so I'm kind of curious where the
It's probably a good community building thing. Like, I mean, just because we don't hear about it from a Disney fan perspective, it might bring people who, you know, live in Anaheim or near there or fans of the Ducks, they might come in for it because it does sound like a pretty cool celebration of the team. You get to see the players and there's all sorts of stuff like that. So it could just be something like that.
Go sports. Right?
Or maybe they used to own the team.
Do they not own the Anaheim Ducks anymore?
No.
Oh, they don't? Why'd they get
for several years.
Oh, why'd they get rid of them?
I don't know. It just didn't make sense anymore. They don't own the Angels anymore either.
Oh. Wow. No more Angels in the outfield?
That's why Ohtani. I mean, maybe
Ducks.
if Disney had the money, they could have kept Ohtani, but...
Oh, man.
I know I'm speaking French to you.
I was going to say that was a sports talk. So let's move on because Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival returns March 1st through April 22nd. And then Season of the Force at Disneyland Park, April 5th through June 2nd. Season of the Force arrives at Disneyland Park with Hyperspace Mountain and specially themed food and beverage merchandise and more for a limited time. Debuting during the celebration, guests can embark on new adventures aboard Star Tours. The adventures continue, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will provide a fresh perspective on the fireworks above Disneyland Park, with galactic music sweeping through the spires. I have been asking for this since day one of Galaxy's Edge. I've always said it would be so cool if, like, the normal Disneyland fireworks had a separate soundtrack that played in Galaxy's Edge. I'm so happy this is happening. It just feels like an easy given to me, and I'll be curious to see, like, how well... I assume it'll be done very well, but how well the music matches to the pyro we're looking at, given, you know, it's really created for a different score. So I think that's really exciting and cool.
It seems like something kind of out of the blue, but again, lots of people have thought of it before, so it's just nice that they're actually implementing it. Of course, we're very interested to see how it actually is executed. Yeah. And yeah, it's kind of, they use, that vague language. You're like, I think this is what this means, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, it'll also be interesting to find out, like, where is this best spot to watch from. I think most people will kind of gravitate toward the Millennium Falcon, or if you're smart, probably like the step-up area near Docking Bay. But I'll be interested to see if Galaxy's Edge becomes really crowded, like a Main Street sort of situation. I don't know, but I think this is cool. I like it a lot. And also, I just think it's kind of funny how for years and years and years, we wanted updates to Star Tours and never got them. And now I'm just like... we got enough. I mean, the amount of options for Star Tours The Adventures Continue has to be in the millions at this point as far as, like, possible combinations.
Probably, because with each one, you're increasing it exponentially.
Yeah, absolutely wild.
Assuming they're not retiring any, which officially I don't think that they have.
I don't think they officially do, but I definitely think they shut off certain ones. And for a while, they always make sure that, like, the new one is on every voyage so that everybody gets to experience it. So, but yeah, one of these days, every option available, oh man, that'd be wild. So that's happening April 5th through June 2nd, Season of the Force. Then Pixar Fest returns for the first time since 2018, bringing guests together for a celebration of friendship and beyond. From colorful decor and themed menu items to commemorative merchandise, the Disneyland Resort theme parks, hotels, and downtown Disney will have a Pixar twist of friendly fun for a limited time. A new parade will debut at Disney California Adventure, along with the return of the Together Forever, a Pixar nighttime spectacular at Disneyland. A parade in DCA! Holy crap! During regular business hours. I think it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, with some kind of recycled floats, but then also, like, there's some really interesting ones. They showed one that has Turning Red, so it's got Panda May and then Four Town, and it looks like her friends as well. So that could be pretty cool.
And that was the audition probably that we heard about a while ago when they were looking to cast Four Town. So, and they were looking for singers and stuff. So I guess live vocals on this float.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be interesting. Very cool. So that's happening. I gotta be honest, I was never a big Pixar Fest fan.
No, those fireworks are rough. Friendship and beyond. Yeah, like, come on now.
I remember the bunting on Main Street kind of cheapening Main Street. I don't know. It kind of looked like a circus a little bit. So not my favorite, but it took quite a bit of a hiatus. 2018, so that means 2019 they decided not to do it. And then, 2020, 2021, obvious reasons it wasn't there. So I'm curious why it went away in 2019 and why they're bringing it back.
Well, when it does come back, the fireworks will be updated with the new segments for presumably some of the movies that have come out since then.
Cool. So let's talk about the best time of year. We got Halloween time at the Disneyland Resort happening August 23rd through October 31st. And then Plaza de la Familia at Disney California Adventure, August 23rd through November 2nd. I always forget that those are like two different celebrations in the mind of Disney.
I think, one goes a couple days later.
A couple days late, yeah.
Reasonable reasons.
Yeah. And then let's talk about it. A year from now, holidays at the Disneyland Resort, which we're in the middle of right now, begins November 15th, 2024. That's looking way ahead. Let's not do that to ourselves, but we just did. In any case, some celebrating going on, some new stuff, and that's all happening. Anything you want to add to that?
Halloween time earlier than ever.
Yes. And they did say Oogie Boogie Bash obviously is returning. They just haven't announced those details yet. But yeah, we're doing the August Halloween thing, which, as much as I love Halloween, I've said it many times, not a huge fan of that, but it's happening. And it's obvious why. It makes so much money. And yeah. So which I would assume Oogie Boogie is going to start in August, wouldn't you? Although I think I've said that the last 2 years.
I mean, if they're going to start the Halloween time in August, then sure, I don't see why they wouldn't. And then, of course, they haven't released an end date for holidays yet, because that would be in 2025, and these are just 2024 things. The other message they want to get out here is part of the reason why they did announce all of these up front is because you can now make reservations 6 months in advance for theme park reservations. So they're like, hey, if you can do it 6 months in advance, we should tell you about all this stuff that you can come see during the year.
You know what would resolve that real easily?
Not having reservations.
That's right. Just get rid of the
This is a better way to hype up the year. Especially since, they do say Tiana's is going to open at some point in 2024. I mean, it's supposed to. It'll probably get delayed till 2025 because when's the last time Disney did anything on time?
I mean, the Hatbox Ghost came out on time.
With hours to spare, as my script said.
With hours to spare. All right, let's move on because beginning May 24th, the nighttime spectacular Fantasmic will once again illuminate the rivers of America at Disneyland Park, featuring new special effects, a thrilling new battle scene between Sorcerer Mickey and Maleficent, plus the return of the iconic Peter Pan scene. Yes, the Peter Pan scene took place aboard the sailing ship Columbia and was a staple of the show from its debut in 1992 until 2016. When the show returned in 2017, the Peter Pan scene was replaced with a similar scene, instead featuring characters from Pirates of the Caribbean. And the world rejoiced. Nothing against the Pirates of the Caribbean scene, it was fine, but it drove me up the frickin' wall that it was the only live action sequence in Fantasmic when the rest was centered around animation. Plus, it was a really good sequence, the Peter Pan one. So I'm thrilled with this news.
Do you like codfish?
I do.
You do? Yeah, I'm ready to get jump scared by the cannon once again. Although I know the timing of it. I might have to I don't know if they change that timing, I'm screwed. But I used to know exactly when it was going to go off. So I could just watch all the people around me get scared. But yeah, I love this segment. I am shocked that that Fantasmic 2.0 was in 2017. That's horrifying. But other than that, this is, again, very welcome news that I did not see coming.
Yeah, so this is one step toward bringing it back to Fantasmic 1.0, which, listen, I've made no secret, I prefer. This is probably the only thing I think we'll ever see change back, but pretty cool. I'm kind of curious the reasoning, I thought that they were still working on some new Pirates films. So, although that sequence never really did work the way they wanted it to. I don't know if people know this, but the original intent of that was it was going to go back and forth from pirates to, ghost
Skeletons,
pirates and stuff. And I think there was going to be a projection mapping thing, and it never really happened. So I don't know if they were just this isn't what we intended, so let's not do it. Or if they were finally just this doesn't make sense because it's not animation. I don't know, but I'm thrilled that it's back, and I think that it's great. The reality is it's probably less performers or something like that. Some budget-friendly reason for doing it would be my guess, but I don't know. Have you heard anything?
No. I assume they realize it's better.
I am hearing we're not getting a dragon.
They basically confirmed that.
But that doesn't mean there's no hope, because I'm hearing the future looks bright in that area. So we'll see. 2025. I got my eyes on you. Don't do that to yourself, Jeff. Don't look ahead over a year from now. Jeez. But yeah, so I'm thrilled. Peter Pan's coming back. Let's do it. Disneyland Resort has also released the 2024 lineup for their popular Disneyland After Dark series with a brand new themed night celebrating. Well, we'll get to it in just a second. Let's start with Disneyland After Dark Sweethearts Night, January and February. This is, a very popular one. They do it a bunch of different nights. I'm always surprised. To me, this is the least exciting of them all, but apparently people enjoy going on dates at Disneyland. If you ask me, make a date on a different themed night, but whatever, it works for them.
Well, according to our own Mike Celestino, if you want to go to Disneyland with the fewest number of children possible, go to Sweethearts Night.
Oh, well, that's that. They should market it that way.
They should almost just go ahead and make it adults only, but that'd be a little weird. But yeah, he said maybe it's changed a little bit in more recent years, but he said having gone to all of the events where, maybe there's fewer children at those events than would be during the day, that Sweetheart Night, nary a kid.
Are you ready for the next one, Kyle?
I am.
It's brand spanking new. Disney Channel Nite, March 5th and 7th, as it is new. They're not giving it a bunch of nights yet. They're going to wait and see how this one does. But the High School Musical pep rally will take place through the streets of Disneyland Park, celebrating the songs from the beloved High School Musical franchise. The Phineas and Ferb dance party at the stage in Tomorrowland will be a high-energy dance party, complete with a DJ and appearances by your favorite Phineas and Ferb characters. Camp Rock Karaoke will allow you to sing your favorite songs, and the Ultimate Disney Channel Trivia Challenge will test true Disney Channel fans, all in the cozy atmosphere of the Golden Horseshoe. Descendants at the Rivers of America will invite you to take a cruise on the sailing ship Columbia and enjoy music from the Descendants trilogy, and then opportunities to step into imaginative photo backdrops representing favorite Disney Channel shows and movies, including Camp Rock, Teen Beach Movie, Lizzie McGuire, Halloween Town, Xenon, and an illuminated Disney Channel logo. Additionally, enjoy a glowing wand photo opportunity. Step behind the glass, raise your own, and appear to paint glowing colors in the air around you. I mean, what do you think of this, Kyle?
I mean, it's funny that a lot of the things they are including in it feel like reworked things that they've had in the past, like the High School Musical pep rally used to be at DCA, the float that would go around. There was the Phineas and Ferb dance party, but that was also like a, I don't know if parade's the right word. I guess it's more of like a cavalcade. But yeah, it would have a couple floats that would come out and stop. So that's pretty funny. I thought it was weird that they didn't mention the glow ID, the wand ID photo op in the blog post. I had to go to the page that they had for the event, and that's where they had that information. I was like, why is it not the first thing you mentioned? Why do I have to dig for this? I mean, I was glad that they saved me a little scoop there, but at the same time, you got to know that that's going to be the highlight. And your credential is also going to be a wand. So they're doing it right. I just don't know why they're not promoting that part of it more.
Honestly, I just don't think that they know. I don't think sometimes the people that, organize these things or write these press releases don't really get what the popular stuff is. Like if you're reading this and you're like a 50 or 60-year-old person writing a press release, you don't know that a wand creating a Disney Channel logo is cool, and it sounds lame if you didn't grow up with that. You know what I mean? So I just think it's people who kind of don't know what they're doing sometimes, but whatever. It's happening. That's kind of cool. That'll have a hell of a long line. I am disappointed by they say across generations of Disney Channel or something. To me, this is not a wide range. Like I want some Dumbo Circus, Welcome to Pooh Corner, MMC, the all new Mickey Mouse Club. Like I want to go back further, and I wish there was more of a mix. Like concept, name of the thing excites me. When I read what's going to be there, a bit less excited. I love that there's going to be a Halloween Town thing, but it's just going to be a photo backdrop. I do love, the wand thing. That's cool, but I don't know. What part of this excites you the most?
I mean, not much of it, because I don't know. I've enjoyed Disney Channel properties like Lizzie McGuire and Even Stevens, but I'm not hardcore about it. I don't know what exactly would excite me, but I'm with you. I remember when I think Disney Channel, obviously, I know the more, and I'm going to say current era as in 20 years ago, but I definitely think my first memories of Disney Channel are Dumbo's Circus, because that was back when it was a premium channel and we rented a house in Cleveland, Ohio. And the best part about being in this rental home for 9 months was that it had the premium channel, Disney Channel, and I watched Dumbo's Circus, and it was my favorite show. So yeah, these are the initial announcements, the thing's not for a few months, so they could do more of it. I doubt maybe they'll have little Easter eggs to that history.
With this event, you can enjoy specially themed foods and snacks all evening long. A few items to expect are the mini banana burritos and tropical banana punch at Red Rose Tavern, plus chili cheese loaded nachos and s'mores donut skewer from Cafe Daisy. Additionally, specialty dining packages will be available too. Tickets for the event are $139 per guest, so it's pretty pricey, and I'll be curious to see how it does. It feels a little niche. It feels a lot niche, to be honest. But so was 80s and 90s Night, and I think those did pretty well. So we'll see how this does.
Those younger millennials, we're too old. Are you an older millennial, or are you a Gen Z or Gen Y?
I have no idea.
Wow.
I'm older than
Gen
you.
X.
I don't keep track of that crap.
All right. You're probably on the border of
I am a
X
millennial,
and Y.
but I'm like an older... Yeah, I am a millennial.
Okay.
So
I'm also an older millennial, so it's totally different than like those younger millennials.
Elder millennials. If I do go to this night, I will tell you what I'm going to wear. I am definitely wearing my MMC jacket because I have like a crew member jacket, like the one that the cast members wore in the show.
That's cool.
I'm 100% wearing that.
Well, if I went, I would wear a paper bag on my head that said, "I am not famous anymore."
And 10 points to anybody who gets that reference. Do you want to explain it?
Sure.
Or do you want to keep it a secret?
No, it's fine. It's Shia LaBeouf.
Shia
Post
LaBeouf.
Even Stevens, but yeah.
Yes. So actually I know numerous people who like were involved with some of the franchises mentioned here. So I'll be curious to see if they go and kind of like blow up their social media with it. That would be kind of funny. We'll see. We'll see. Also, we get Disneyland After Dark Star Wars Night, April and May, but interestingly, not on May the 4th. I don't know what that's about. I guess, but still, you'd think. And then Disneyland After Dark Pride Night returns on June 18th and 20th, 2024. This will be the second year for that, so I guess it did pretty well last year. And yes, that's happening.
I also feel like they invested a lot last year. I kind of remember they had all new costumes for that and a bunch of other stuff, so it probably just makes sense to do it again so that you can reuse some of that stuff.
Yeah, it was a fun night. Cool, let's move on because World Celebration Gardens is now open at Epcot. This includes Dreamer's Point, where we get the new Walt statue. Luminous, the Symphony of Us is open, and we're kind of at a quote-unquote Epcot is finished point, I think, right?
For now, yeah.
But only for now, 20 points
Except
if you get
for
that.
death and paying taxes,
Everything in life is only for now. Oh, Kyle. I love that.
Each time you smile, it'll only last a while. Life can be scary, but it's only temporary. Anyway,
now
we're wasting Zoom time.
We're just amusing ourselves at this point. So yeah, the Epcot construction walls, are down at this point. I'm excited to see the park without walls. I feel like it's been a very, 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 very long time. But as part of all of this, a new background music loop featuring different orchestrations of the wonderful Epcot theme composed by Pinar Toprak, who I guess wrote the music for Captain Marvel, debuted at the park. And this music loop debuted with the opening of World Celebration, and it can be heard throughout the front half of the park as well in World Nature and World Discovery. And yeah, apparently this is going to become available for streaming pretty darn soon, and it's pretty darn popular. So Epcot, yay.
Yay. Yeah, I've heard this area looks nice. I haven't been there personally, obviously. And then the Communicore Hall and Plaza are, you won't believe this, they've been delayed. So they're now set to open next year. So
Epcot is not finished.
Epcot will never be complete as long as there's capital expenditures in the budget.
That's the Iger equivalent of the Walt, as long as there's imagination left in the world. I love it. Perfect. Well, Kyle, as you mentioned a bit earlier, your Disney Coast to Coast 2024 calendar arrived. You actually got yours before I got mine, but how's it look, Kyle?
It looks awesome. I have to know, the first photo is Beast Library. That's something you took like the last week, like you at the last minute.
Why would you say that?
Oh, because it's closing. I believe it might be closed by the time people hear this.
I did, actually. I took that one of my last times visiting it. I do have a good amount of photos, actually, of Beast's Library, but when I went for that final time, I took some good photos, and I was like, I'm going to include that. I like to include the things that we're saying goodbye to, and, I didn't this year, but I often include some great movie ride in the calendar, which I did not this year. But, yeah, I think, do you have a favorite photo in there?
I mean, that one looks pretty good. I swear the Rogers one almost looks like it could be the one Disney put out. Like,
oh no, I took that.
I know you did. You would have to, but it looks great.
Yeah, I really am happy with the Judge Doom photo. Quite happy with how
I can
that
tell
turned out.
since it's the cover.
It's the cover, but also like they just built such a beautiful set with the whole like the Acme brick building and stuff and the dip machine and stuff. Like it's a beautiful set. And so yeah, I'm very happy with that. But cool. I'm glad you got it, folks. You can get your own DCTC 2024 wall or desk calendar. In the calendar, it's notated every time there's a Disney Parks anniversary, which is a fun little feature in there. And of course, your purchase helps support next season of Disney Coast to Coast. You can get those at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. I will also include a link in this episode's description. So click on that. Get it for yourself, get it for a friend or a family member for the holidays, and enjoy. Finally, we got some news about Pixar releasing Soul, Turning Red, and Luca on the big screen in 2024. Soul will be coming to theaters on January 12th. Turning Red will be coming to theaters on February 9th. Luca will be coming to theaters on March 12th. Now, Luca is the only of these three films that received a run in U.S. theaters, but it was also released on Disney Plus simultaneously. I don't remember Luca on the big screen at all.
So we looked it up, and maybe it was at El Capitan or something, or I think maybe internationally.
Yes, I know it did the El Cap, but I don't count that. Like, that's not a wide release at all. So my point, I'm very excited for Luca. Like, that's the one I want to see on the big screen. I think this is great. If you haven't put two and two together, folks, these are films that were released during the pandemic and went straight to streaming. So for the filmmakers, for the people involved who made it, I'm happy for them. For the audiences who have become fans of these films, I'm happy for them. And like I said, I'm very, very happy to see Luca on the big screen. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think I would like to see Turning Red the most of the three.
Really?
I really like that movie. I think it'd be fun to see it. Not necessarily that it deserves the big screen treatment in terms of like the visuals and stuff. I just enjoy the film, so it'd be a fun excuse to go watch it again.
Maybe the four-town scenes will become like epically huge, like the Taylor Swift movie that was released. Where the fans
could make that happen.
Yeah, let everybody bring your bracelets, start singing along, pounding your feet in the theaters, because the theater managers appreciate that, and so do the people in the theater next door. I didn't see the Taylor concert in movie theaters. Did you?
No.
I kind of wanted to check it out, but I've missed so many movies this year. It's really, really sad. But in any case, that's happening. I'm happy for them. Anything you want to add to that?
Nope.
All right, that's going to do it for the news. I do want to mention I did get to experience the candlelight processional at Disneyland this year due to a very kind and generous person who wishes to remain anonymous but is listening, and I can't thank him enough. But oh my gosh, have you ever seen this at all?
I never have. Even that year where it was public and they did like a month of them, I still never got a chance to.
I mean, it's technically always public. It's just the seats are reserved. But like you can stand, if you want to stand around town square for a long period of time, you can definitely do it. But oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And I've never done it at Epcot. And I'm sure it's fantastic at Epcot. I really do
done
want
it at Epcot.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, but I haven't done Disneyland.
Yeah, I really want to do it at Epcot sometime. But there's something about Disneyland's that I just don't think Epcot can touch. Like just being in the park at this place that is truly transformed. Of course, Walt started it, so that's special. It's amazing. And the thing that's kind of crazy is the choir marches the entire parade route. And as they march by, the lights shut off and, it's just lit by the candles and stuff. And I mean, it feels like you could hear a pin drop in Disneyland, which is not something that happens very often. And I mean, even when there's, nighttime spectacular going on, or even a parade or whatever, you always have the cast members saying, keep moving, waving the people who aren't in the right spot to watch. None of that with this. It's just like such respect. Oh, it's so good. Gives you chills. As I will say, as the choir marched by me, all the choir members are in their robes and stuff. There was a service animal dog in a robe, and I was just like, "Aw!" It was too fast. Walked by to snap a photo, but I was like, "That is the cutest thing I've ever seen." But in any case, by the way, it was Brie Larson was the speaker at Disneyland, as I'm sure folks have heard by now. I got to be honest, it has nothing to do with the guest speaker as far as, the candlelight processional is concerned. Like, it could be a nobody reading the story. It is amazing. The live orchestra is amazing. The choir is amazing. It's just amazing. So highly recommend. And if you're going to Epcot, check it out there for sure. Also, while I was there, I visited the villas at Disneyland Hotel and the Pixar Place Hotel, kind of to just see what those were all about. And they're both really nice, but like there's this trend definitely, and it weirds me out because Disney's so known for like ornate details and stuff and theming. And I can't help but just feel like their newer hotels are just like minimally themed to the point that it's like, yeah, replace a picture and we can retheme it to something new entirely. And I don't understand that because they're obviously not expecting to have to do that. I don't think they would ever do that. So I don't get this whole like minimalist design stuff that's going on. It's weird to me.
Do you think the Pixar one's minimally themed?
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of just giant photos that if you replace the photo...
Well, the lobby maybe, but I mean, they have like fireplaces upstairs.
They have a fireplace?
Well, they have like those little like fire things upstairs that like one of them looks like anger and it's got fire coming out of his head.
You're right. I'm speaking of the lobbies and stuff. I didn't go to the rooms.
Well, this isn't even the room, but yeah, on the roof.
Oh, on the roof. Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It just didn't feel super themed to me. I went to the restaurant that's there, the Great Maple Restaurant, and I posted about it. And somebody said to me, is this the first time that Disney has a chain restaurant in a hotel? And I don't know the answer to that, but I was like, I don't think so, right?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, especially given the history of like, there was, I guess, what was that before? Because it was PCH before that, but even like way back in the day.
Yeah, before Disney owned it.
But yeah, chain, that's quite, yeah, it's not the first, definitely not the first like outsource, but maybe first chain. I don't know. It's a good question.
I was like, I don't think so. But then at the same time, I'm like, but I can't think of any examples either. So maybe.
I mean, are you going to count like Joffrey's and Starbucks and things like that as those are cafes, not restaurants?
Yeah, I wouldn't count that. But yeah, so they're beautiful. They're just, they're a little underwhelming lobbies in my opinion, but they're beautiful for what they are. Beyond that, I also swung by Downtown Disney to check out their new stage and green area, as they say. And the new stage definitely in a much better location. If you remember the old one, it was kind of like right in the middle of Downtown Disney and could create a bit of a bottleneck there. So this one's off to the side by the green grass area. It has a very mid-century modern look, which is, lives in that world of kind of The Incredibles, which is not my favorite aesthetic, but it is what it is. And it's nice to see a permanent stage because even though the other one had been there for a very long period of time, it never felt permanent. So this reminds me more of like the stage in Tomorrowland than the previous Downtown Disney one. And the grass area, it's plentiful. There's a good amount of it, but it's fake grass.
So people seem to be taking advantage of the grass because like that was the thing with Toontown. We all kind of, during the press preview, you're like, wow, it's just so big and open. And then opening day comes and there's a bunch of people actually utilizing it. So were people utilizing it?
Yeah, there are definitely people there. And it's it's a much bigger area than, what Toontown had to offer. So there were definitely people there. There was a building being constructed right next door, which I think is going to be the Asian restaurant. What is it? Din Tai Fung. I think that's what's being constructed right next to it.
And they announced that's going to open in 2024 as well, by the way. That and the two replacing like Uva Bar.
Yeah, Downtown Disney is going through a lot of updates and changes. And like Epcot, it feels like it's been doing it for quite some time. So that's all happening. So yeah, I got to check out some new things while I was there. Anything going on in your world Disney-wise?
Well, earlier in the show, we mentioned how Hulu is you now have a Hulu tile in Disney Plus if you have the bundle, which means that Community is now streaming on Disney Plus, which is kind of silly because you have to have a Hulu subscription anyway, but technically Community is on Disney Plus. So if you haven't seen that show, you should watch all 6 seasons of it. You can try to keep an eye out for yours truly. I pop up from here or there. I don't talk, but I pop up. But I love that show, and so it's a nerdy little kick I get out of it being on Disney Plus.
Isn't it fun to like work on a show that you're actually a fan of? Because when you're doing background stuff, a lot of times you're just
Are you saying I'm not a fan of Glee?
Well, I'm sure you've done more beyond
I hated Glee when I
did you hate it when you were on it? I was obsessed with it.
So I started watching it while I was on it, not necessarily enjoying it, appreciating more maybe, but not enjoying. But no, I hated that show with a passion, and then I got hired on it, and then I spent the entire first. So the first thing I did was overnight, like in Long Beach. But then the first time I was on stage, I was partnered with someone, and I was having a bad day because like it didn't go well at wardrobe because I didn't bring a heavy enough coat because I live in Los Angeles. I don't own a coat. And so anyway, I'm complaining about this to someone, and I go, anyway, so what do you do? He's like, something about like, how did you get on the show? And he says, oh, I'm friends with the producer. So that was great. Just talking crap about the show, but he was cool. He didn't care. So yeah, and then I ended up, working on the show for several years. But yes, Community, I loved working on so much because it was already like one of my favorite shows. And so getting to see how the sausage was made, and even seeing things that didn't make it into the show, and just seeing the chemistry between all the cast members was such a treat.
Did you interact with Chevy Chase?
I had a pillow fight with Chevy Chase. I don't know how many people could say that. This was like on camera. Like it wasn't just like off. Wow. But yeah. I mean, I've heard things. It was kind of fun, but I've also worked with, other people who are famously maybe not as warm.
He's talking about Lea Michele, folks. He's talking about Lea Michele. I'll say it. He won't say it. I'll say it. Anywho, yeah, that's fun. I've actually never seen Community. Not a single episode. I can't even say like I've seen 2 minutes of Community. Would I like it?
I don't know. I mean, I think you'd like certain episodes. Like they have a Halloween episode that's like a zombie one. I'd probably start you with that, even if it doesn't.
Oh no! No! I have to start at episode 1. I can't. Yeah. No.
Well, it's interesting because when you start the show at the beginning, like it definitely takes. It starts off as more not like a normal sitcom, but a little bit, more normal, for lack of a better term, and then gets a little wilder as it goes on.
All right. I also have to catch up on Only Murders in the Building. I haven't seen the latest season of that. As you mentioned,
we watched the first episode. I don't think we've finished it.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm so behind. Apple TV Plus I haven't finished Ted Lasso yet. I haven't gotten the most recent seasons of The Morning Show or Schmigadoon. Like, I'm just so behind. But good to know, Community, highly recommended by Kyle on Hulu/Disney Plus. Now, folks, that's going to do it for the news for this year. Season 11 premiere of Disney Coast to Coast. Oh, I should mention, there is another episode next week. It'll be like the final hour-long episode, the single subject matter episode of Disney Coast to Coast for the season. Of course, it is Christmas related. So that happens next Wednesday on the normal day. Then we're heading into hiatus, where during the hiatus, I'll be sharing kind of archive episodes. I know there are a lot of new listeners out there who perhaps have missed some really, really good episodes of Disney Coast to Coast, so I'll choose some of my favorites to play during the hiatus. The show officially comes back with a Season 11 premiere on Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. Followed by the following week, the first House of Mouse headlines of the year on Wednesday, March 6th, 2024. And of course, there's going to be lots of Disney news, although this, is traditionally the slow Disney news time period once January hits. But of course, there will be news to know about. And you can get all of that news at laughingplace.com during the hiatus. And anything that's super big, exciting news that Kyle and I need and want to talk about, we will get to come March 6th, 2024. Sound like a deal, sir?
It does. Although I kind of wish that you were releasing the episode on the 29th of February, since there will be one.
Oh, is there?
I think it'll
so.
I think
it'll be a Thursday.
I think it would be a leap year.
How I would know if I referenced my Disney Coast to Coast 2024 calendar. Let me do that right now and check. You can hear the pages. Can you hear that, Kyle?
Not really, but you can.
Oh, well, maybe the people listening at home can. Those are the pages. Let me go to February. There is a 29th. It's a leap year. Sorry, it's a Wednesday show. So
I know. Maybe we could do a 24-hour special for
We'll do a marathon.
Catching up on all of the news we missed.
Oh my gosh, can you even imagine? Alrighty, Kyle. Well, thank you so much for another year of Disney news. I always appreciate the work and time you put into this. So thank you. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you. You too. And congratulations on 10 completed seasons.
To read more about any and all of the stories you've heard here today, simply visit the show notes link in this episode's description. You've heard the news, and now I want to hear what you have to say about it. What do you think of the announced Disneyland events for 2024? Share your thoughts on that or any other topics mentioned in today's episode. Call 818-860-2569, and you may just hear yourself on a future episode of Disney Coast to Coast. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Don't miss any future episodes by subscribing and following Disney, with a Z, Coast to Coast on your favorite podcast app, where episodes are available 24/7. Until next time, anything you need can be found in this episode's description. From additional information and links discussed in this episode found in the show notes, contact info to reach me, access to the show's official website, some free gifts from me to you, and so much more. So be sure to check out this episode's description. I will see you next week for the Season 10 finale of Disney Coast to Coast. Until then, have a magical day. Bye!